this event, for extending the invitation to us to participate here today. This event takes place a week before the beginning. It takes place a week before the beginning of the month, where we will be celebrating the Youth Month. This year we'll be commemorating the 48th anniversary of this historic June 16 uprising, which was a significant turning point in our struggle against discrimination and oppression by the apartheid regime. I'm sure you know that what happened in 1976, because you can hear that, you read about it even at school now. Hence, we are here so that we can show that because of the sweat of those young people that fought for all of us, today we are able to reap the benefits of those. And what we need to do, especially to you young people, is to start having these conversations and dialogues about what government is doing and the expectation of assisting you so that you become better in future. So we gather here again when COVID-19 plays a havoc with the lives of our citizens and has impacted negatively with the economic growth of our province and the province as a whole. Both big and small businesses have equally been plunged into the economic slump. The current situation requires innovation to reposition businesses to respond positively to the new norm. Digital transformation is critical towards economic revival and sustainability of our economy. I'm sure niyakhumbula ngokube kuhlelwe emakhaya kuvaliwe everywhere wonke umuntu bengasebenzi, but only companies that have ICT skilled, were able to operate. Hence, we feel that ICT skills, it's very critical to young people in our country now. We have programs in the department that we are doing of training young people. But again, Program Director, I will want to talk to you. We have bursaries that we are doing. We've given 50 young people bursaries to do ICT, besides the courses that we are doing, short courses, 6 months course that we do online, and the ones that we are doing with the young people, because we are doing road shows to specific areas in all the regions, working with Microsoft, working with Huawei, and other NGOs that are responsible for ICT, especially Yosia Funda. But we want now to say to you, Program Director, as an MEC, and can you give me, out of these 5 young people that must go into ICT, I will give them bursaries. Tinyiko is sitting there. He is going to talk to you. You will get details so that we can get those young people that must go to school and do ICT. But we'll still be in contact with you, because we will tell you how do we deal with those short courses so that they can register online for the short courses. So we'll have a session with you where we will say this group is going for the 6 months online. This one, MEC, must go for 6 months to TVET colleges. We have partnership with UJ. They will definitely do that. Hence, the 5 we will be taking to you. We'll be doing a degree on ICT. Then we will pay everything for those 5 young people. The impact of COVID-19 and the looting in July 2021, a devastating economy, has made our economy to suffer. And in response, as Gauteng Provincial Government, we are prioritizing the implementation of Growing Gauteng Together 2030 plan, which is an action plan that Premier always talk about in TV and in other media houses. This plan prioritizes the implementation of transformation, modernizing, reindustrializing our province. So the ICT and digital services sector featured prominently among the top 10 of high growth sector in the Gauteng City region. The recent looting of shops in the townships have exacerbated the economic situation, whereby job opportunities had been put at risk. These unlawful activities did not only contribute to economic drawback, but enhanced levels of inequality and poverty in the country. I was having a PCO somewhere here next to the police station. I know how that mall came, because I was part of the people that negotiated for the mall to be here in Orange Farm. We didn't have a mall. And the citizens here have 30% in that mall. The painful thing is that now we're destroying the mall that is supposed to service our citizens. And I want you young people to protect that mall. If it's going to be rebuilt again, you must know that this is your mall. This is your mall where some of your parents are having shares there, which we went to NEF, by the way. It was me that led the delegation that we want you to give us 30% stake to this mall. Pay us the 30%, we will see how do we pay it back. So please, I want you to appeal to you, don't destroy anything that is being done in your community, because it's going to help you and even help your children at the end. So I wanted to raise that because it pains me when that mall was burned down. I was in tears because I know the sweat that we've done to be able to get that mall to be where it is now. So I want to appeal to you. You must make sure that all these opportunities that you are getting, even out of this course today, take them with two hands. Don't let them slip in your hands. We are all coming from the environment where you are. I didn't just wake up tomorrow and become an MEC. There is so much that people have done to make me and motivate me to stand up on my feet. I always tell young people that, I come from a family where my mother can't read and write and my father. But today I am an MEC for finance in the province of Gauteng. So it means that where you come from cannot change where you want to go. So always stand up. I was happy with this girl that said it just needs 30,000 to do that work. And you and me, Caesar, let's help those that are serious about that work. I am going to partner with you. I have interest of young people at heart. There are so many companies that we can talk to them, that I must assist some of these young people and even mentor them so that they become better tomorrow, including our government departments are going to do that, because this is not only your responsibility alone, it's our responsibility too. For the mere fact that you have gathered them here, you are helping us as government to see that they are already there, but they need to be assisted. And thank you so much for doing this. The current administration has adopted this GGG 2030 plan to deliver Gauteng City region, including building a sustainable future for all of us, including yourselves, young people. Creating a society based on human solidarity, where no one is left out or left behind. Delivering society that protects and cares for the poor and most vulnerable. Growing our economy that includes everyone and create jobs. The province has developed the 4IR growth and digitalization strategy with 4 pillars: the digital infrastructure, enabling environment, enabling technologies, and human capital development, which is part that I was saying we will assist you to make sure that you have those short courses or long courses at the end that is of benefit to yourself. Through the plan, government will deliver on its priority action to address poverty, inequality, unemployment, through multiple interventions, including investment in SMMEs, where procurement of goods and services by Gauteng departments in respect of goods would be procured from businesses in the townships to make up 30% of value for GPG's procurement spend. Through the digital infrastructure, the department provides connectivity to access to government services to all Gauteng citizens. The Gauteng Department of eGov fully supported the ICT and digital services sector through implementation of various projects and programs, including continued rollout of Gauteng broadband network and development of e-services that we are using in the department. If you see a pothole, you can definitely report that pothole. All those services, we have them. We have applications that we have done, and the department provides wide area network connectivity to 31 sites and local LR network to 46 sites across the province. This ensured that more GPG sites had end-to-end connectivity to continue the reduction of telephone and cost of GPG departments. With regard to enabling environment, the township economy has been prioritized to ensure that township entrepreneurs get the necessary support. Thus, the department has committed itself to pay service providers within 10 working days. This will enable township entrepreneurs to sustain and grow their businesses. Since we have in the department a course on financial management that we are doing. Your team, if you want me to come and train those young people. We go and train them where they are. Some we take them to the Gauteng Center of Excellence that we have built with Microsoft and train them there on financial management. If you have a small business, you will go to Baba and then you will register your business. If you have not registered your business, I'm not sure, Tinyiko, if the trucks are here, because we are going to register the businesses. We put you on the CSD so that you don't pay because other people sell CSDs. We are not doing that. And when you have these gatherings in Caesar, call me. I will take my team to come and register young people so that their businesses, they have CSDs, and when they want work, they are not being told that you are not on the CSD. And that's what the government department is doing, which is led by myself. We have yesterday signed our agreement already that in fact, we were launching it now with Standard Bank. Our bank now is Standard Bank. Part of the things that I've said to Standard Bank, they must help us to assist young businesses, entrepreneurs, and they are going to do that. In this financial year, they are going to give me 250 million that you are going to apply. You apply, but the application is not going to be strict. It's going to be exactly what MCs is doing. We will say, what are you doing? What do you want? And then we take you to them. Then you apply, you get the money. So we will definitely do that. It will start from 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, up until you get a bigger amount. We will assist you to apply if you can apply for those monies, because we are going to ease the way of doing business with government. So Standard Bank, you will be assisting us for the next 5 years, MCZ. And I want you to help me, these young people that have companies, to be beneficiaries of that, because we have started working with them in April. Now this is May, we're launching it officially, but we must roll it out now so that young people benefit. Part of the work, we have Gauteng Enterprise Propeller, that you know it will assist them, but this one, I want it to be managed by me and my department in Standard Bank, so that young people benefit, and we monitor it. We will monitor those businesses, because we don't want opportunities that are for young people end up not getting to them because somebody is doing something wrong somewhere. I promise you, when you come back next year, I think you are doing this on an annual basis now. When we come back next year, we must be talking something, Puti, that says, out of that engagement, MEC, where you were, this is what we've done. And if we now go to events, in the address event, then things have been outcome, Putuam. So, don't invite me if we will say, let's do this, and we are not doing it. Because we need to better the lives of young people. There are so many that are struggling, so many that are suffering. Hence, we want to save them from the rate of crime that is out there. Because if we are not helping them as government and yourselves, we will be creating monsters for our own. So please, let's try and make sure that in the next 6 months, there is progress to the development of what we are discussing today. Because in addition, we have the Township Economic Bill that will enable growth of small businesses operating in the townships. This township bill that we have been talking about to other communities. And the Gauteng provincial government will make sure that we support everyone that is interested in that space with the 30% procurement of budget spent in the townships. I know the allocation indeed. I'm looking after 156 billion, you are right, excluding grants. When grants are there, it's more than 160 billion. That's the money that I've said to Standard Bank. I can't give you so much money, and you're not giving me anything annually. I need this money that at least in Zalayayo must go to the people that deserves it. Hence the 250 million that we'll be having every annual year, so that I'm able to assist these programs that we are doing of developing young people. So we are going to make sure that we work with yourselves, and Gauteng Department of Government have set ambitious targets on procurement of spend in the townships, which are below 1 million on the township economy, and we will have a discussion with you again in terms of that. How do we tap to those resources as small businesses, especially on the ICT space and financial sector? Then we have established the ICT We are collaborating with Microsoft, and we have established that skills development and training of support on SMMEs. So that's something that we'll do with you, which I've indicated already. And we have the Gauteng Center of Excellence, and I want you to come when we have about 20 or 50 young people. Just use the Gauteng Center of Excellence so that it can be seen that it's for the people. It's not only for us to show off in the government buildings. In conclusion, this is the modern currency which customers value most, that we are doing of assisting the modern custom innovation companies and businesses in our space. And it is important to business to adapt the change in any business that fails to innovate and adapt change. And we need to understand that and the risks that are thereof. The impact is huge, as it may lead to the increased poverty and unemployment. So let's strive for innovation and use the available networks to elicit good practice to grow our businesses. I think if you want to be business people, it's possible. But I always say, if you can't be a business person, don't go to business, because you are going to have a problem. You rather go to school if you want to be a person that can be a business person. So, and here you have opportunities, whether you take a challenge of going to school and ensure that you get you go to school and ensure that you will ensure that you get bursaries. Even on financial management or on finance and accounting, if there are those, please bring them, give me another 5. So 5 on financial management, accounting, 5 on ICT. Both departments are going to make sure that they benefit. Thank you so much. And ICT courses, you will get the link for them. And I really appreciate this opportunity. I am excited, I have to be honest. I always dress about 500 young people because I go to regions. I have never had them in one room, all of them like this. Now I can see what you always say, that there are so many young people that are unemployed, that are not going to school. And you have showed us that this is possible, that we can come and address them and assist them at the same time. Because it's not about talking, but it's about doing things that they value, that they want. Thank you, Nyabonga.
MEC, let's give a round of applause. MEC, what differentiates this platform from the rest of our youth platforms is what you are saying. We are not inviting people to come and for a chalk and talk. We're inviting people for relevant, practical opportunities for young people. But these young people are tired of speeches. They want real opportunities. And I'm happy that we are aligned. And I guess it's up to you and I and Tinyeko not to make those promises, but to fulfill them. You know, I'm going to give you, before the end of this week, by Friday, we'll give you 5 ICT. We also have a stage that side. I don't know whether they've taken you around in terms of industry stages. We have a stage that side that focuses on 4 IR, robotics, trends, and all that. We'll get some of maybe 3 that side, because they're already in that space, and then we're going to take maybe 2 and give you 5 for the course for the bursaries. We also have a stage this side, if you have time, when you move around, it's a stage that focuses on finance, cryptocurrency, fintech, accounting, financial management. We'll take that side, we'll give you 5 seasoned young people who are at a cutting edge of their careers, meaning that we're going to give 10 young people. Let's give the MEC a round of applause. You're going to get it before the end of this week. And then we'll report to these young people, because we do have the database. We owe it to them so they don't say, you guys, you labua fela. We need to show practical. The second thing, that the challenge that you have posed to us, MEC, that we are taking it, is November we want to have something like this with this infrastructure, where we call 2,000 entrepreneurs in Orange Farm, you know. Whether you're running a spaza shop, whether you want to be and owner, yeah, taxi, whether in ICT, in digital. We're going to bring people here 2,000. And we want to take the offer to partner with us, including Standard Bank, you know? So that the last offer that we're making now, MEC, to you is that without throwing anyone under the bus, we spoke to some of your officials to say, I know that the MEC hates to speak without your presence on the ground. But I don't know what happened. We forgive, and please do forgive them. But we had that conversation for a month. Nothing materialized, because I hate when you come and speak, and then young people, they can't go and interact with your brand and your services. Yeah. Now I must talk to you. You guys, you got the instruction? The MEC said we must not talk to anyone, but we must talk to her. Because what I wanted, MEC, was that once you're done speaking, then there's a pass that's it. There are exhibition stands that are taken by some of the entities that are reporting to her and other government, MEC, so that it's practical, it's not chalk and talk. But she has made a commitment that we must talk to her, meaning that we're going to engage her for November. We're also going to engage the MEC for next year, because this is going to be an annual signature event targeting us. Let's give our MEC a round of applause. We are truly honored that we do have a leader in our community, and I love what you're doing, MEC, because it's not chalk and talk. It's, guys, within 6 months, we're gonna come and report back to you. Remember, if you want us to come and give you more opportunities, go to our website, EmpowaYouth, EMPOWA Youth, and then there's something, I don't know, D, is it still open? Fund my business. Register there, leave your details there for anyone who's looking for funding and mentorship and coaching with regards to, to business. Are we all together? Go to our website. If you don't have no data, once you have a data, also follow us on all digital or social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We are there, we are live and kicking. We're going to release our MEC because she's rushing somewhere. But I do have a number now. I have a number of Tinyiko. We'll make sure that we follow up. And then next year, this time, we'll call her again to come and give us, some of, good stories, success stories, so that we can then say, these are the 10 young people that have received bursaries or scholarship. This is where they are placed. These are the 20 entrepreneurs that are in the database that are being used. These are the 20 female entrepreneurs that there's a certain procurement budget that is ring-fenced for them. So we can give you serious, practical solutions, but also to come back and give you a report. Let me see. You want date in November? Oh, the MEC says we have a date with you on November. The MEC said, guys, you can give her another round of applause. She said, November, we're coming here with her again. Thank you for that commitment, MEC. They will be here. We'll call them, not all of them, because all of you guys are going to want to be in business. We're going to be having 2,000 entrepreneurs. We hope then by then COVID. Because MEC, we had to disallow up to 300 young people is all. And we're packed to capacity. Today, we had to cut off. That shows you that there's a need here in Orange Farm. 300 young people, we had to tell them and say, guys, we can't take it. We have reached capacity. That's why we also had to have maybe 100 extra. But today, we couldn't even entertain the 100. We hope that Mudimu Otatilaga covered so that we can open up this opportunity to as many young people as possible. MEC, let me release you. Can you give us John Wick Elapiana? Anfuna John Wick. Nifuna ene? Let me understand one person. Just hold on.
Wait, somebody say wow! Orange Farm Stream! Orange Farm Stream!
Thank you so much, Pastor Mpopo. We're going to move to our next speaker. The person will come and inspire us and also share some tips for us to be successful entrepreneurs. The person that I'm going to introduce, this man is an author. He has one of the best-selling books in the country around leadership and entrepreneurship, but is also the CEO of General Electric. He is the Makulu boss. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on stage Nyimpini Mabunda. Let's do that. Let's welcome him. Nyimpini Mabunda. We can do much better than that. I hope I've pronounced your name correctly. Nyimpini Mabunda, the CEO of General Electric. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Come on, where's the energy? Good morning. That's more like it. That's more like it. While we wait for the tech team to put up the presentation, let me just do a little bit of introduction so that we all know each other. First of all is to thank the organizers, Simpiwe and the team, for this great opportunity. But more importantly, for the work that they do. This is very, very inspiring. I came here hoping to be inspired, and I'm very, very inspired because it takes all of us to make a difference, and a platform like this is fantastic to share the learnings. Secondly, I'm a bit of a frustrated entrepreneur. So I hope that through your engagement and the questions that you're going to ask, I can also get better in my craft. I spent a lot of time in corporate, in multinationals, running big organizations. Today I run General Electric. Before that I was at Vodacom, I was in Diageo. But I'm a frustrated entrepreneur because about 15 years ago, I went on my own and I bought into 5 Nando's franchises. And I left corporate job and I started running those franchises. So back then, those who have had a good opportunity to have a meal in the CBD of Johannesburg, whether Gandhi Square or Carlton Center or Plain Street or indeed Park Station, and have had a meal at Nando's, thank you for your support. Today, I'm also involved in the AutoZone retail as a franchisee. So that's what I do on the side as a frustrated entrepreneur. I also coach young people. I'm an executive coach. I don't have enough time to do that, but I do have about 7 to 10 coaches and mentees that I support. So what I'm going to share today and what I captured as 10 killer lessons for leadership impact in entrepreneurship, it's based on those learnings over the years. So please indulge me as I share that, but also take the opportunity to contribute, take the opportunity to challenge, take the opportunity to share your experiences. I was hoping, Tech Master, that by now the presentation will be on. I'm mindful of time. Yeah? It's coming. All right. Please bear with us. Should be up soon.
I see you when my parts qimbi sibaphinde ngenambabadela manje namhlayenza umlando usojabula wena jubilate delublat usojuluka wena namhlayenza umlando usojabula wena jubise delublat usojuluka wena kona usojabula wena.
Namhla senze umlando ulisuke likhulu senze umlando noma ngamshiya mfana nomthandazo sizophuza mfana sizoyaphalaza engithi namhla senze umlando ngeke sibhadale ngisho mastana sizojaya basifake nomaskadi.
So you must actually leave your name as well there, because we already have 80 people that we are capacitating on the small traders. Okay, thank you very much. I think, oh, there's another question there.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
To everyone else. So, my name is Chawas Khwanyane. I have a brand, 2 brands actually. Nothing much. It's called Nothing.
Ukuthi wena ufuna ukwenzani, ufunani, yini into ekwenza ukuthi uhluke kwamanye ama businesses.
Sanibonani. igama lami uSibusiso kwaMasiza. Ndarejista business as a traditional grilled food and bakery. So just because of ukukhula kwenye situation, I didn't manage ukuthi ngiyenze. Ne. But the main point is, when I get 100,000, ne, that is the main point can build my business. And it's not that I can build it for myself. I'm just helping every youth who's not working.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause. Let's take you at the back. At the back with a cap. Stand up, yes? Yes, yeah. Okay, I'm coming, Machita.
Yes,
Yes, sir. I'm coming that side. Well,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
shh. Yes, sir.
Da igama lami nguLinda, ngihlala eOrange Farm. I-business idea benginayo and ngisayicrafta namanje.
Guys.
I-billboard business.
Yini?
Billboard business. Shukuthi ngibeka i-billboard endaweni ebona abantu kakhulu. Izoyenza i-profit. Kodwa ngifuna like igcwale around ama townships ngoba izoba nama benefits yokuthi i-billboard i-face yokucala yaphambili izoba ipromoter ama company nani wase Orange Farm nani ukuthi bangayenza kanjani bese the back ilapha ama non-profit organizations bangaposta izinto zabo ukuthi youth ithola information.
Okay.
Hey, for sure abanye abayizwanga ngale event yikho base my billboard mayiseKaslabo. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Just give him a round of applause. Let's take that one there. Let's move that side. Pagama, yeah. The other one there. Pagama, when? Not the owner there. Just, yeah. Just give the lady a mic.
Timelang. Kalibitso ke Tsolfelo.
In Safela, so Bahono.
Na kalibitso ke Tsolfelo.
Okay.
Na kina netse ke yetsa ko high anyway. Ke make up batho. So the thing is, sometimes when it's a hala hore batho ba fitlang a se di make up tse kana le tsona ha di sweet skin sa bona. So that's my business e ke yetsang, but then in a disadvantage eo ya hore makeup da go ha kena yona ya batho ba skin seo.
Or obatlo qala business ya yetsa makeup.
Ya beauty.
Ya beauty.
Yes.
As a makeup artist.
Yes.
Okay. And then obatla bokai?
I wouldn't say or ke batla bokai.
You wouldn't say okay.
No, wait. No. Mamela. Oh.
All right, let's take this one. Okay. Stand up there. There, okay, say struggle. The offer, yeah, yes. You're my brother. Let's hear.
Good morning.
Yes.
My name is Pumlani. Sir, I was focusing on security business.
Guys, let's listen, colleagues.
The reason why I'm focusing on security business is that I wanted to build a security academy, because I can see the situation around Orange Farm, that the youth suffer from hunger mostly, and then from drugs and etc. So I thought if we can build a security academy, we can stop the crimes.
Okay.
And we can build a Orange Farm further.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's look at this side. This side. This side. All right. Which side? Asimamelo sisi.
Sanibonani. Igama lami nguZandile wakaDlamini, ngiphuma extension 3 ngirana i-car wash.
We have a car wash.
Yes.
Okay.
So currently spacing naso sincane. So engisitholile sidinga ukcleanwa nokufaka i-pavement, then ngidinga equipment and nginayo enye mara incane. So I can employ women. Ningathi i-car wash eyabo bhuti or in, but ngidinga 75,000.
75,000. Emancane ngibuze. You want 75,000 to do what? Just break it down.
Okay, it's 75,000 engiyidingayo. Ngizofaka i-pavement, ngithenge more equipment.
What is more equipment?
Imchini, ama-hoover, then ama-pressure gun, yeah.
And then ayohlala kuphi ama-hoover nala ama-equipment.
Then ngizozama ukuthi ngithole i-container engizoyivalela khona.
And the container cost malini?
25,000.
And then that one, guys, shh. And then don't ufuna ukuqasha abantu abosisi.
Yes, abosisi.
How many people want to hire?
Khona manje, let's say 4.
Why 4?
Because i-business isaqala and then nami yabona manje bengisaqala, but yeah.
And then 75,000, it's a startup capital efunayo.
Yes.
75,000.
75,000.
What is the lowest that you need?
It might be 45,000.
How much?
45,000.
But why 45? Why not 75? What would be the
I get to the lowest.
Yeah.
Yeah, ngizothi nami mangilowo ngiyenza imali. Then ngikwazi ukuthenga like amanye ama-equipment.
And then what are the prices? How do you charge for Guashimoto?
Ngicharge i-venture khona manje it's 60 rand.
Okay.
Then the private car is 45 rand.
Valet?
Then quantum it's 80 rand.
Valet malini?
100 rand.
100 rand valet?
Yes.
And how long does it take?
Sorry?
Ithatha isikhathi singakanani?
It's
Ubuye kweclean.
Ugenzani?
Valet, how long does it? Guys, man, colleagues. Ara sizoyivala ke le session. Bese siyajiva.
Ngoba bayangiphendulela and yawazi ukuyiphendulela.
That's a problem because ngibusiness lakho lena angimele usiphendule. Valet uthatha isikhathi singakanani ukenza?
Okay, bengicela ungitshele yini valet because currently
Okay.
ngaphakathi.
Yeah, it is sizobuya kuwe ke. But let's give a round of applause, ne? Let's take that one at the end. That one at the end. Yeah, where na put. Ngicela uketshema umgaye. Ngicela uketshema umnike. Is it sort of, thank you. Sorry for the, let's take this one, the last one, and then we still have the whole week, don't stress. Even today, we'll support entrepreneurs, and then we'll see where we can help. Don't stress. Now it's as a go. Etara asiya baba.
Sanbonan.
Yeah, but.
Kamala mushono yabo. Okay, I'm a business owner maningi yabona. Okay, ngizoba ne1. For starter ngathi catering business yabo.
No guy A1 lapho wazi ukuthi yazi le.
Yes, yeah.
A1 le catering.
Okay, for manje catering business.
Yeah.
Just like catering business yami ngihlanganisa equipment eyitulo ngobuningi bazo, amathende, amatafula, like amahasi, bumayi even amatende. Then
event furniture.
Yes, equipment le ngizoyidinga for into namahome.
Mara tende ngena kuphi moke catering or mabadla ufuna ukuthi
babe bangene. Just like le angithi phela manje ukuqhubuka nale ibusiness yami njengale catering le ngifundele yona i-bisho event yabona ngithi njenge bisho event kanje
yabona. How much do you want?
Ngasho ukuthi boma plus minus 100,000 engangenzela yonke into.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it to Obab Mabunda to come and talk to us. Let's give him another round of applause. Thank you so much.
You guys are so inspiring. Give yourself a hand of applause for all of those ideas. Thank you so much for your patience. All right, let's get this show on the road. So I just want to share with you 10 slides with 10 lessons, and hopefully we've got a time to engage a little bit because I can see you are a vibrant crowd. So lesson number 1, please move to the next slide. I think as an entrepreneur, you need to know and appreciate what you're good at, right? Know yourself. I think it's quite tempting for entrepreneurs to say, because Uspanbani has got this business, I want to go and do it. but play to your strengths. And I'm using those pictures there because, you know, that was the shortest striker, or that's also the shortest boxer, Baby Jake Matla. Don't undermine yourself because you look different, but play to your strengths. I think that for me, that's very, very important. People who have been very, very successful have clarity on what am I good at and what would differentiate me. What is that DNA? Yeah? Second one. I'm sorry to break it down to you. The reality is that you will take some knocks. You will have some failures. Entrepreneurs, all of them share stories of, I succeeded at my 10th idea, 5th idea. But the reality is that you're going to have some setbacks. The lesson about failing is that, number one, you can say, I have failed, but I am not a failure. Yeah? Failing is not personal. Failing is an outcome of an attempt. If you spend your life trying to avoid failure, you will not take any risks. You will not grow. You grow out of being uncomfortable and going to uncharted waters. However, what is important here is to fail fast. What I mean by that is that sometimes we are so obsessed with our own ideas, we're so in love with what we want to do, that even if something is not going to succeed and you can see signs early, you keep on pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. The risk with entrepreneurship, especially when you're funding it with money that you've borrowed, is that if you don't catch it early enough and you don't stop before you lose too much money, you are going to be ruined. So you need to have the dashboards and things that will give you an indication of whether this thing is going to work or not. And then if it's not, rather stop and move into something else. Because it is not the end of the road when you failed. Many, many big businesses were started out of lessons from failure. So your failure is not lost, but it's about what did you learn from it. Fail cheap is an important one. And I use this vehicle in the background as an example. Who recognizes that car? Hands up. The Mercedes-Benz X-Class. It is no more. It lasted a very good 18 months in the market. Right? Good idea, pack it, sell. We're going to launch it. We're going to get into the market. We're going to make money. There was no market demand for it. They stopped it. But they did not lose a lot of money in doing so, because something important in entrepreneurship is do not over-invest in a new idea upfront until you are sure that it's going to work. So they didn't even make the car themselves. Nissan made the car. So they didn't have to close the factory. They didn't have to do all of those kind of things because it was subcontracted. The idea was that if it gets to a certain level of critical mass, then they're going to build their own plant. That is what I call failing cheap. Do not over-invest until you can see that now my idea is ready to scale. So fail fast, fail cheap. And this is where those who are in the technological stuff will know. We talk about MVP, minimum viable product. And then you build it from there. We talk about pilots. We talk about trial. We talk about all of those kind of things. It's a simple thing like if you have an idea of opening a clothing shop. Before you build your own shop in Sentin, start and sell your products in someone else's shop. And then as the demand grows, then you go and open your own shop. Because if it doesn't work with your own shop and you've overinvested, you're going to be ruined. But someone else's shop allows you to test the appeal of your idea. Does that make sense? So fail fast, fail cheap. Next lesson. You are not an island. The issue about entrepreneurs is that we try and do everything ourselves. And I can understand that because quite often you don't have resources. You have to do your books, you have to do engineering, you do deliveries, you do everything. You are also the chief sales officer, you're doing everything yourself. But if you look carefully in your network, there's someone who is skilled at something. Whether from family, friends, uncles, colleagues, ex-colleagues, those who are working. You are not an island. Do not try and reinvent the wheel. Seek help. Put up your hand and then approach people. These days, social media makes it easier. You know, even if you DM people and ask for help, you're going to get 10 people who reject you and say, no, I don't want to talk to you. But that one who will say, I'm happy to talk to you, get that skill. And you've been here already. It's about seeking help and seeking inspiration. But no one can do it alone. It's a team effort. So seek help. You are not an island. have personal board of directors. This could even be family members. This could be your partner. This could be your university professor. You just have to think long and hard, and you realize how many people you know, and those people can help you if you ask the question. I'll give you a good example. I wrote a book. I'm a first-time author. My book is called Take Charge. Part of the reason why the book is so well received and is doing so well is that before I started writing, I talked to 2 other successful authors. I didn't even know them. But I said, I'm writing a book for the first time. Please share your experience with me. And I believe firmly today, and I can say with confidence, that the reason why my book is so successful is because of the guidance I got from other people who went before me. You are not an island. Next one, this one I don't need to tell entrepreneurs about, because this is your life, this is what you do. Adventure, explore, and discover. Take risks. If you are not prepared to be uncomfortable, if you are not prepared to stretch yourself, if you are not prepared to push the envelope, then you're not going to discover something new. And the things that sells in general is something that is old with a twist, or is something that is new. People like new experiences. We're all using Instagram. It's a new way of sharing. We're all using Facebook, whatever. It's a new way. People love new ideas. But new ideas are risky because they haven't been proven. But you need to be prepared to really push the envelope. And here for me, importantly, is that think of your business as a platform. Once you have something that works, what are the adjacencies that you can push it towards? So I use an example of an iPhone. iPhone is made by Apple. Before they made iPhone, Apple was popular and known as a computer company. MacBook. They were competing with Microsoft. They were competing with Dell. They were a computer company. Think about it today. Would you still describe them as a computer company? So what they have in iPhone, which is the biggest revenue generator for them, up to 70%, differentiated them completely from your HP and Dell that they used to compete with. But they are not making computers. So what business are you in? Once you crack that business, to grow, what else can you do on your platform? And that requires you to explore and be uncomfortable. The next one, from a leadership point of view, number 5, it's about never-ending improvement. Things change. They change all the time. If you're in retail today and you started your business as a shop, as a corner shop here in Orange Farm, if you're not thinking about e-commerce and building a website and selling your products on the app, your business is going to die, right? So, but how do you do e-commerce if you know how to do a physical retail? Because it's not the same selling in a shop, which you're good at, versus selling online. So you get to that through never-ending improvement. Grow yourself, learn. And here, do not shortchange yourself, because there's so many opportunities and free platforms for learning. So many. LinkedIn, Google, and all of that. There's no shortage of information. We got Spectrum, people. I believe there will be the Minister of Small Business coming to talk to us. We've got Spectrum now. Data prices are coming down. Use the internet. The information is there. TED Talks is there for you to self-help and self-teach. But if you remain static, you are not going to win. So how much time are you investing as a leader in your own growth? In my career, when I started, I didn't know anything about digital. 2 years ago, I didn't know much about AI. A year ago, I didn't know as much about ESG, environment, sustainability, governance. But these things are becoming more and more relevant. For me to succeed, I need to know those things. How much time are you investing in your own personal development? And I'm talking about publicly available information. Next one. Here it's about doing more. Do more, be more. If you stick to only the scope that you know and you understand, you will not realize more money-making opportunities. And here I want to give an example of a a South African that we are all very proud of, Trevor Noah. You can describe Trevor Noah as a comedian. He could have limited himself to telling jokes on stage because that's what he does. He's a comedian. But he's making a lot of money as an MC. Because comedian is about communication and confidence. Then he says, where else can I take my comedy skills to? Now he makes money as an MC. Comedians is about capturing the crowd. Then he expanded himself into a TV host. And that TV hosting of The Daily Show gave him even more gigs as a comedian. Right? So look at your business and think about it as an ecosystem. And through that, then he went to write a book. So to a naked eye, comedian, TV presenter, author, MC are all unique careers on their own. One person is doing them all because he looked at his brand and his business as an ecosystem. So do not limit yourself. Do more, be more, because that's how you grow, that's how you get to be recognized. Next one. Here, there's absolutely no excuse. As an entrepreneur, you need to challenge yourself. As a leader, it happens to all of us every day. Challenge yourself to consistently deliver great performance. You've heard the saying, success breeds success. People want to associate with success. The moment I feel like the business is not winning, I don't want to associate with it. You can't attract good talent in terms of employees. You cannot attract customers because customers don't want to buy in a shop that they feel like is not successful because then they think you are undercutting on quality. They feel like if they buy something that has got a 2-year guarantee, you won't be there after 6 months. So why should they do that? So you need to build up slowly, but ensure that consistently you are successful because as you become more successful, you become even more successful. I don't know if I'm making sense. You know, they say money goes to those who have money. Success breeds success. You need to make sure that you consistently show that you can deliver success, no matter how small scale it is. Because you know what happens? When you're successful, then what happens? There's people who are in the finance floor there. The banks can see the success. Then they come and then they give you money to expand. Right? But if you're not successful, they want their money back. So we need to think very clearly about success to say, rather do a small thing, but demonstrate success consistently. Then you will attract more success. That's what great leaders do. If you don't have a record, it's like your CV. What have you done? What's your background? You won't be successful. So be careful of expanding too quickly, and then you die quickly. But if you can show solid results and success, trust me, you'll become even more successful. Lesson number 8. Comfort is your enemy. Comfort is your enemy. I had the pleasure of being at Silicon Valley and I spent a week. And one of the time when I was there, we visited the global head office of Facebook. And they've got this thing on their walls. And they've got teams that are working. They're paid and they're working every day to kill Facebook. That's their job. Think about it. Mark Zuckerberg is paying people within Facebook to come up with ideas to kill Facebook. I was also in INSEAD late last year. It's one of the top business schools in the world. And we spent 2 days. On the first day, we worked on killing our own businesses. And on the second day, we worked on resuscitating the businesses and making them new. Think about what it is that can kill your business. Think about what it is that if it happened, your business will cease to exist. Because that becomes your defense plan. Because if you don't think about it, trust me, someone else is thinking about it. If you're successful, people around you also want that success. So here, it's about making yourself uncomfortable. We think about it all the time. You know, I come from Mpumalanga, where my mother still stays. I was born there. And every time I drive on the N4 and I see all these coal trucks, and they're making good money. I think about the fact that the country is actively working on wind-generated energy, hydro-generated energy, gas-generated energy. And when that happens, those trucks will have no business. The coal miners are going to be under pressure. That business is going to die. Then what? So think about longevity of your business. Because you might be making good money now, and the business may be doing well. There may come a time when it's challenged and it's going to die. What is plan B? And what are you going to do to extend its life? If you're in a chicken business, and all of a sudden, for health reasons, people around you start to become vegetarians, sell vegetables. Your product is going to die. Your business is going to die. And that's what I'm talking about. Comfort is your enemy. Just because you're very successful today, don't rest on your laurels and think that it's going to be there forever. People reinvent themselves, and you need to think about the life cycle of your business and kill it yourself so that you can resuscitate it. That's how you sustain long-term businesses. Number 9. This is a marathon. You all know, those who are in business, it is hard. I grew up in a business family since the age of 2. We woke up at 4 in the morning to receive bread from the bakery and then prepare to open. You open at 6. You're waking up until midnight. It's long hours. It's also stressful because you're not always getting the results you want. In the process, you might be neglecting family. In the process, you're not even eating well. In the process, you're neglecting yourself. In the process, you are very stressed. In the process, your children are very unhappy with you because you don't have enough time to take them to school. All of those things. My guidance is, do not forget to take care of yourself. Think about what makes you more productive. That 30-minute run in the morning can give you more productivity during the day than using that 30 minutes to run your business because you think you do not have time. Right? That time doing homework with your child can give you so much inspiration and excitement. So it's not about how hard you work. It's always about what do you do during those hours and how you take care of yourself. Because your life might not even be that long. If you're not eating well, you're not exercising, you're making that money, and then you die at 50. And you haven't really been there to see through what your business needs to do. So I think you need to think very carefully, especially for many entrepreneurs whom I appreciate have had a tough time in their businesses over COVID. There's lots of mental health issues. People are stressed. Talk to your pastor, talk to your counselor, talk to your parents, but seek help. Don't die in silence. Take care of yourself. Because as an entrepreneur, you are the business. So take care of yourself. We're very good as leaders about taking care of others. We want to be, to create harmony, make sure that everyone is fine. Our employees are fine, our suppliers are fine, our customers are fine, our children are fine, our family is fine. How about me? It's lonely on top. Who do you talk to? Have a coach, have a mentor, have a spiritual coach. Whatever you do, take care of yourself. Because the happier you are, the more productive you are, the more successful the business is. Last lesson. Beware of the sharks. It's a fact that not everybody is celebrating because you are successful. Much as we don't want to acknowledge the fact, I always say in business, and I said, look, if my business got liquidated today, if my business went under today, do I think my competitor next door is going to come and mourn with me? Or they're going to pop champagnes because one less competitor is gone? So, of course, I'm not saying don't cooperate and work with your competitors. Sometimes you need to be together as industry leaders. But you also need to realize that they are your frenemies. And they would be happy when you're not successful. And people do not always play clean. Hence, you need to watch your back. Because as you are working towards progress, someone is working on your downfall. So this is about being streetwise. And just don't look at the glass half full all the time. So that is my last slide, and I wanted to share that those 10 lessons with you, and I hope they've been useful.
Sure.
All right, sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's give him another round of applause. The Makulu Pass, you know, if you own 5 Nandos, I wanted the Nandos say, it means you're Khala Qadila, ne? Or owner, is it Auto Zones, isn't it? Means Khala Qadila Muton. He's now the CEO, yeah, General Electric. He's the main man. Let's follow him. Are you on social media platforms? We must make sure that we follow you so we can also learn. But we're going to engage him further. We'll make sure that we also invite him in November. Colleagues, we are having 2 sessions, then we'll go for lunch. I'm asking, we have enough supply of food today. You know, we apologize about what happened yesterday, but today, all of us. Therefore, let's wait for the program in Fedeka 1, and then all of us will be ushered. We have enough supply here, Dijo. We have taken care of all of you guys that are here. Are we all together, colleagues? Therefore, don't worry. Shh. Guys, that side, don't worry. Let's focus. That's why we are here. Dijo is secondary, but it's a must. We need to eat. I understand. But let's focus until we finish, and then we'll take instructions to go and eat, and then we'll tell you when to come back. I'm going to introduce a friend of mine who will then introduce his panel. His name is Milton Nkosi. You might have seen him go TV. He worked for BBC. A renowned media personality, an entrepreneur. He owns his own firm. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Milton Nkosi a round of applause. I think we can do much better than that. He out here says so. This is my brother, this is my friend, and let's thank him for taking time. Thank you, Milton.
Hello, Orange Farm, hello. Aware, Orange Farm, aware. Ziyakhala manje. You know, I've been sitting at the back watching you, ne? A lot of you are looking at their phones, ne? And I'm hoping that you are maybe typing or writing. But because I'm old school, I'm like, why bangana ma notebook? I'll hold the pen. So if you don't have a notebook and you don't have a cell phone and you are not taking these very, very important tips of how to succeed, then you shouldn't be here. Uzoyithola kanjani uhleli ekhoneni? They don't mean ukuthi uhleli ekhoneni lamampela. Mawuhleli la uloku bluza ubheki Instagram ungamamelanga lama tips. Uzoyithola kanjani uhleli ekhoneni? So I hope you took the advice. Mina, I was so impressed by this last presentation. This was super duper advice from people who are already in the mix of entrepreneurship. So you are getting it, as they say in Islungu, from the horse's mouth. Awizwa ngendaba. Utshelwa abantu abapracticeayo, abantu abashanga amanandos ayi-5. Jesu. Yazi mangicabanga nje ukuthi kota chicken and chips imalini, and ngicabanga ukuthi i-full chicken imalini. Ngicabanga ukuthi ama-full chicken amaningi angakanani, and ngicabanga ukuthi enandos ine-1 angakanani ama-full chicken nama-quarter chicken. And then ngicabanga inandos enye yes2 yes3. Ngithi yo lo bhuti uyavutha. Didn't you think that? I was trying to calculate, you know. Kuchu. Hey, khona abantu abasebenzayo la ngaphandle. But they are here to make you dream. and to transform your dreams into goals. So that now, one day, uzabe umela and sharing with younger people. That's the whole idea of what we're trying to achieve with this Empower Youth Week Orange Farm. And you must go and share this with your friends and relatives who are not here. Not just Abase Orange Farm. Everywhere else where you can reach your friends and family. Share with them what you are getting here. This is what they used to call, in Old English, gold dust. Do you understand? This is absolutely phenomenal stuff. I mean, when he was talking about, I don't remember whether it was number 5 or what, but when he was talking about how you have to be reinventing yourself. My goodness, that was beautiful. So I'll share, while we're waiting for my guests and panelists to join me and others to come from other tents, I'll share my story with you, right? So that you can also think about where you might end up one day in life. So me, I'm not like you. I am you. Do you understand? If you are sitting there and you are watching from the back, that's me. It's just that it happened a few years before. I used to be exactly like this. Attend talks, listen to people tell me things. And I used to dream when I see people. You know, successful people, noma bababi, baba ngati bahle. Oke wabona abantu, uyabaza abantu basekasi mawuhlala nawo, nishiswa ilanga, niyafana. Ulala peacefully sibabi sonke. Asinamali sonke. Makangathola umsebenzi, makakudlula sekanuka amakhamkham. Yo. Don't you think they suddenly look so beautiful and handsome? You're like, but this guy, I know him from school, man. Katangekho muhle so. Kwenzakalani? You know what it is? It's success. Okay? Your skin, the way you eat, where you hang around starts to shape a different you. So you don't need to have, what's that thing that they do with their noses in America? Plastic surgery, right? You don't need it. All you need is to be successful. Then you become beautiful. And you can become beautiful just by changing your mindset. How you see yourself. When you look in the mirror and you see an ugly face, well, sad to tell you the truth, then you are ugly. But if you look in the mirror and you see a beautiful face, you, nobody else, okay? No Instagram, no friend, no neighbor, no parent, no jealous cousin, nothing. It's just you and the mirror. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you see beauty, then you are beautiful. Okay, it's in here. So that's why the English say beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Do you follow? You are beautiful the way you see yourself. You know, I've been to America. I've seen so many interesting people. And we also have that thing in our minds. Have you seen sitting at home watching TV with, ay, Marontulo, ay, we find out I want to answer next door. Have you not thought that? I'm telling you the truth. You just think, but this guy, ay, mina nami ngamhlula lo. You know that feeling. But you are not, it's a small voice in your head, right? What that is telling you is that that person, they see beauty, they see success when they look in the mirror. And that's why they are where they are. And when, that's why you are where you are. Okay? So in Kabbalah, they say we are all responsible for our own situation. In other words, positivity breeds positivity. If you are negative and uhlala ukhuluma ngabantu, complain now, ukwatile, well, guess what's going to be your main projection when other people see you? They will feel that energy. You know there's that thing, that cloudy thing, that thing that you can't touch. When someone walks in the room, they make you feel good. They haven't said anything. But there's that thing that when someone comes in the room and you just, when a friend came to see me, abangayazi. But bokhona umfana kufuna la uthi uphume Orange Farm, sizwe singamthandi. How? How? For what? This guy is my friend, he's a good guy. But your aunt loves you. Your aunt is your father's sister. She loves you. You are her nephew. There is no way she can say she doesn't feel right about someone when in fact that person is good for you. Okay? When your aunt says, "Ngizwe ngingamthandi," just take that as a bit of a warning. Nobody said anything wrong. It's how the energy was flowing when they were meeting, right? So that energy, we also have it amongst ourselves as individuals. You must watch yourself. What energy am I exuding? You know how to exude energy. Yabona lento ephumayo la mawuthulile nje. Iphuma la ngamaphoza. Asiyiboni mara yaphuma ithumela ama WhatsApp nama video. Mara uyiboni. Ubona nje abantu simabakubhekile nje bavela bathi ay iphelile cold drink. How? You know what? They're feeling your energy. It's not their fault. You are exuding negative energy. Do you understand? So your job is to change that situation. You must project positive energy. You must make it your job, your objective. Isifiso sakho injongo yakho. You must want to produce positive energy. You know, I was watching Mr. Mabunda here. Angmazu Mr. Mabunda, ne? Okay. Mhlambe ngiyamthanda ngoba unamanando say-5. Okay, fair enough. But you know why I like him? He was positive. He gave me a positive. Mangifika ekhaya ngiyofika ngijabulile, I'll be walking with a spring in my step because he made me feel good about myself. I may not have Nando's, ne? But I will feel ngathi nami nginama Nando's just from his energy. That's what propels you. That's what takes you forward. And that's why, you know, there's a joke when I grew up. My grandfather told me, he said, ungabohamba inyanga. Khona umuntu wathi makawe ku-interview yomsebenzi waya komunye umuntu wamnikeza some little lotion ukuthi makayigcobisa bamthande bamqashe. Manje wamnikeza wathi le uyifake ebusweni mawuvela bayahleka. Le enye uyifaka la emuva ezinqeni ibulala amabhadi uhlala phezulu kwamabhadi wakho. So this guy Monday uyavuka wagcobisa waye emsebenzini la bayomqasha khona. Mabambiza ngegama makavula umnyango umlungu athi get out of my office. Makajika but come back. How? Makathi uyajika lo mlungu athi sure. Makathi uyajika nje umlungu athi I said get the hell out of my office. Makathi uyajika uyaphuma umlungu athi come back. I'll leave it to you to think what happened at home. Maga Kobisa. Please come and join me. So every day, imagine go to Kobisani on your face. It's you, right? Imagine. So our panel is here. Ay, ziyakhala manje, ziyakhala. How are you? All right. My name is Milton Nkos. I'm from Orlando West. I support Orlando Pirates.
It is lovely to meet you.
How are you, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you, my brother? You don't need to stand up. How are you? Great. All right. How are you?
Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. Nice to meet you. No, she already knows I support Orlando Pirates. I used to have a friend, Ekasi. Katanga was ukukhulumisa ingama la grand. Igama lakhe boku Makhanda. Manje sithi introduce yourself Makhanda ngesilungu. At hello baby. What's your name? What's your number? My name is Makhanda, but in English it's called Gandris. Right. So, this session now begins. Forget everything I told you. Ningang kolo. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now starting a panel discussion about what is the effect of technology on recruitment processes. Do you follow that sentence? I mean, sometimes English, I must translate it back to Zulu and then I understand, okay? Yeah. Are you getting this thing? What is the effect of technology on recruitment processes? That's what we're going to discuss, okay? So watch those cell phones, that's technology. So we are now joined by our esteemed panel as Dr. Jerry Gule. He is CEO of IPM. And we've got Madeline Hendricks. Somebody ngamlo manje uyanyiwa. Did I say that? Yo. Madeline, you are the in-house.
On the chair, yes.
Madeline is the in-house HR specialist, and she also presents a reality TV show called The Chair. You are being rude now. I'm embarrassed because you clap more for Madeline than for Dr. Jerry Gule. We've got visitors, man. We don't behave like we are alone at home. Ne? You know when you're at home, you lick your plate, it's fine. But when there are visitors, just look at that gravy and leave it alone. So I want you at your best behavior. And we also have Samson Vilegazi, who is CEO of Velama HR Solutions. Oh, I'm being given a note that Ntate Mohaise has gone home because there's an emergency. So please note that. Let's hope it's nothing too serious. Let's keep him in our thoughts. When you hear emergency, it's always. Okay, Ntate Mohaise, you need to go home. Urgently. Urgently. This is a serious message. Tate Mahai say you need to go home, you are required there urgently. Okay? And then we also have Elsie Pule, who is HR Director at ESCOM. Didn't I tell you, Wuti, we are going to light up this tent? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the HR Directors panel. It is great to be with you this afternoon. I'm going to fire off the very first question for you to answer. So you will take turns in answering it. And I'll start with Madeleine because I'm a racist. Because she's white, we test her knowledge first. Because we don't trust them, right? So, Madeleine, many recruiting processes are now online. How does this impact the job application process?
Yes, so absolutely a lot of the recruitment process is now online. It is, thank you very much, but you're gonna wanna listen because this is important.
Guys, this is very important, please listen. And remember, listening is a skill. Okay, so please listen. We want you to listen. Keep quiet and listen. Madeleine.
So yes, a lot of the recruitment process is now online. How many of you feel that once you have typed out your CV on a piece of paper, you now have to go and redo your entire CV when you upload it onto an online portal? Like you're almost redoing the work. Who feels that way? Yes. So you're doing this because of artificial intelligence. So what is on your CV is not able to be picked up via keywords and searches and so forth. So what recruiters then do is we use keywords to find certain skills on your CV. So if you're not putting in all of that information into the technology, then when we use the technology, we can't find it. And that is where a very big gap becomes, or the big gap is, because we're not doing what we need to do when we are uploading our CVs onto these platforms. We think, it's already on this paper, why am I doing it again? So that is where we are finding ourselves.
Thank you very much. Do you want to take it away, Elsie?
Yeah, I will. Thank you so much. I noticed that today the lights are on, so I feel very safe. So, judging by my age, you'd also realize that there was a time when we applied for jobs, we would send some CVs and they'll be tracked somewhere, particularly if you applied for a job in government where I started working. There's this form called Z something, which I hate so much. And then those forms would be compiled, tracked somewhere in Kempton Park, and some human beings have to go through them and identify who would be potential. So times have moved. In the organization I worked for, and I've worked for so many years, in 2004 we already went online. And the reason why we went online is because you also want to guide the applicant in terms of what they should tell you, such that instead of depending on an individual to decide whether you're shortlisted or not, you then have some sense of objectivity to say, if I wanted someone with a BA degree, at least all of them will be sifted into the first phase of shortlisting. And you start getting into the detailed discussions around what this person can do once you have shortlisted them. So it's very important to note that when you apply initially, you make sure that whatever you load on the system, you might have a long list of things you want to share, but read the advert very carefully and then fill the parts that will allow you to just get into the door. You all know that the unemployment rate has gone up to 8 million of us are unemployed. That means competition is tough. So you need to be very selfish when you apply to make sure that, I don't know how many people are in this venue. So you tell yourself today that I want to differentiate myself from everybody who's in here. What is it that I'm gonna do that's gonna make me stand out? So one of the things you have to do, I know that I can't assume that everybody has a phone, but if you don't have a phone, some of us have got access to internet cafes and so on. Make sure that everywhere you walk, you have the soft version of your profile. So when you open your phone, you open Facebook or WhatsApp and you see a role is being advertised, you don't have to say, I'm gonna go and I'm still gonna type and I'm gonna send it, because competition is tough and the world is moving at a very fast rate. Thank you.
Thank you. And I meant to say, before I told you all the false stories I did, today is Africa Day.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you a proud African?
Yes.
Right. Africa Day today. Samson, what are your thoughts on that question?
Thanks, Milton. Can you hear me? So I'm just going to start with context, because sometimes people sit here and say, what give credence to the person who's speaking to speak about this subject, for me to be convinced that it comes from a practical space. So as Vilama Consulting, part of what we do, we really focus on 4 things, which really makes us to sit in front of you here today, and I'll get to that just now, which is human resources, end-to-end IT supplies, social facilitation. I want you to underline HR and social facilitation, and you'll see why I'm wanting you to underline those 2, as well as tax, consulting and accounting advisory services. The question that you always have to ask yourself, I think Elsie and Magdalene have dealt with a question from an employer point of view. I always, if you've been to audience where I speak, I always say you must start with an end in mind. When you start with an end in mind, it guarantees you success. So what does that mean? All of us know that at some point in time we used to go every Sunday, buy Sunday Times, and get adverts on a newspaper, or on Wednesdays would go and buy the Star and find adverts there. And if you look at the scale of adverts that makes its way there now, the number has significantly dwindled, or it has gone down, for many reasons, which I'm not going to get into because of their really commercial reasons. But Elsie has already spoken about the importance of having a gadget on your hand and use it properly. But the key question is, if I am employed, where do I need to go and look? And if I am unemployed, where do I need to go and look? Segment it nicely. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you run into a risk of burning energy with less results. And there's a thing about psychology about when you keep sending something through and you keep getting negative results, your energy level goes down. So how do you then do this is you need to understand in the technology world, what sort of platforms are there and who do they serve best? I'll give an example. You'll have LinkedIn, you'd have Career Junction, you'll have PNet, you'd have all sorts of platforms that sort of process applications. But you need to say, if I am unemployed, which one serves me best? It means, firstly, it is assumed that you do not have experience. It means what you should be focusing your energy on, it's a learnership. If you are studying towards a certain qualification, it's an internship or in-service training. Now, the big question is, so if those are my needs, where do I need to go? It means if I need an internship, the best place where I can get results is to start at company websites. It will give me an indication of what their interest is. And if, for instance, I'm an engineering student, which companies do I need to target? If I am a marketing student, which companies do I need to target? If I am in any other discipline, which companies do I need to target? Can you see you are starting to segment how to use this technology in such a way that it gives you positive results? There are sitters out there today, and they play a major role. Yes, they get into a relationship with companies to make sure that companies open their doors to create a place of work where they can absorb you, but they also then come with some kind of funding. But the big question is, where do you go and get the right kind of person who's looking for a job or who's looking for exposure to be given this opportunity? In most instances, you find that you sort of just battle to find the right person. But if you flip the coin, and the people who are in this room are already sensitized around which platforms do I need to go to, already the battle is half won. Because it simply means you are going to go into this website of the company where it sort of receives applications. You're going to find the right people. You are going to go to whatever portal that the sitter is using. You are going to find the right people, because of young people now are alive to the fact that I need to be really going to these places for me to have my energy directed at the right place, and for my CV or for my bio to be picked up by the right person who would have an interest to take it a step further. I would want to, as a conclusion, part of our solution, yes, it's to go and recruit for companies, but also part of it is to do labor broking. And I can tell you now, labor broking happens in two fronts. There is where you get a client that says, we need these people, but there's also an element that deals with social facilitation. You guys see malls, you see buildings going up around you. Those people have a great need to have a certain amount of spend into the local community. And part of what we do as Vilama is to put together a database of unemployed people. And what we then find is in that database, it's so skewed, you know. You don't find people with certain qualifications. Yet there are people in the community who have gone to school and they've got qualifications, but they don't take time to go and make themselves available in such places. So the long and short of it, Milton, what I was really trying to cover is, if you think about where you are seated right now, you need to start with an end in mind, and your end in mind is, if I go out of this hall today, what is my starting point? You need to go to the right place, and I've shared what those avenues are. Back to you, Milton.
Thank you. Jerry.
Thank you, my brother. This morning, thinking up when Mr. Masiza invited me to come and be part of this forum. So this morning, before I left the house, I said a prayer, and I want to read this prayer to you before I answer the question. Because I know I'm meeting the cream of South Africa, the future of South Africa. And here is my prayer. The Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you. May he give you peace. It is so restless and it is so stressful not to know where is my next meal going to come from. So the topic of how do I find a job? How do I use technology to access that is something that I think all of us, Milton and my colleagues, we should be praying for our youth, because we need this. To know that the youth, 70-something% of our youth is unemployed. This is a serious challenge that we have. So these skills that my colleagues are talking about are so key. I want to mention just 3 things. The first thing is this. Please make sure that your profile on social media is squeaky clean. Technology can spoil your opportunities. Technology is ubiquitous. It goes everywhere. So please make sure, as a person seeking to build your own brand through social media, through whatever media, make sure you are squeaky clean. I was HR director, I am now CEO of the IPM, an organization that is 77 years old, focusing on people management. So I'm very passionate about people. I am coaching a number of people around just how do you present yourself? How do you gain your self-confidence? How do you go to that interview and ace it? You know what Stephen Covey says? He says, you can get any job you want, is how you position yourself. You must understand, and I like what my brother here said, understand what the issues of your target company are. What are the issues that they face? What are their problems? Let's use ESCOM, for instance, today. They want people that have the technical skills to help them to bring the grid to life, right? So when you apply online or even dropping your CV, because some of us still have to do that and hope that the HR person will actually take the time to read it. It's so important to say, this is what I bring to the table. Don't just say, I'm looking for employment. Your attitude. Talk about the kind of attitude that you have. Because people say, we no longer hire for skills. We say, is this person going to fit our team? So attitude is important. Now, I was talking to students at, let me not name the college, but I just found the mindset to be way off. Because people are talking about 25,000 Rand salary and a BMW. First job. It's not going to happen. So the attitude walking in is not the correct attitude. It must be an attitude, I'm coming in here and I'm coming to learn and I'm coming to develop. The Mac, the whatever, the Porsche is going to come in time. That's the first point I want to make, your attitude. Secondly, I said you must be quick as clean. And thirdly, my third point is this. Remember, technology has taken away the whole thing of location. You can work, you can be in South Africa, work for a company in the States, work for a company in the Philippines, work for a company in the UK. You just need to go to, first of all, you need to identify which companies do you want to work for and why. That's the most important question. When I coach people, I say, give me your 10 top companies, write them down and tell me, so when you get to your top 5, why do you want to work for these companies? Give me the reasons. And people struggle with that. Have you thought about the brand? Why do you want to go there? It can't just be about, I want money. There must be something more. Why you want? Because that question, the HR people will ask you, why would you like to join us? So let that be clear in your head. But the final point, you can work anywhere. I'm talking to a Form 5 students, the grade 12 students in the Philippines. He connected with me on LinkedIn. Please make sure you are on LinkedIn. People are chasing people to find jobs on LinkedIn. And what you need to do there, list, as Elsie and my colleague and my sister over there were saying, what are you good at? You don't have to have experience. I am good, for instance, one of the things, I'm very good, I don't steal. I'm not going to steal your money. I'm not going to steal your property. I am a person of integrity. Those are the things that need to come up in your CV because that's what we are looking for. Skill we can train, ladies and gentlemen. We can give you the skill, but attitude, the right attitude will get you through any doors. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kule. That was so beautiful, and the contributions that we had in our opening question. You know, I am so privately proud of myself sitting here because what Dr. Kule was talking about is what I mentioned at the Empower Youth Week last year. If you were here last year, you will remember me saying your attitude determines your altitude. Okay? Attitude determines your altitude. This is exactly what he was saying. So change your attitude, right? Very, very important for success. Moving right along. We are now moving to a very important question for our panelists. And this is, are you effectively able to assess a person just by their CV alone? Eh? Let's hear what the experts say. Madeleine.
Okay, so that is a very good question. Thank you very much for asking that question today. Yes, your CV is the very first impression that you make. Who has ever heard the saying, the first impression is the one that lasts? We've heard it. How many of you in the room have had somebody else make your CV for you? I don't believe you. Show me, honestly. Who has made use of a service to make their CVs for them? There we go, that's a bit better. And when you look at these CVs, do you see yourself in the CV? No, you don't. So your CV is vitally important for you to invest in yourself as a first draft. This is where the fun begins, because once you put together who you are on a piece of paper, and as you grow and update your CV, you can see how much you have learned over the years. This is supposed to be one of the proudest documents that you will ever compile. There are so many technologies available today that you can put together a very nice infographic, colorful CV. Take a guess, how many CVs does a recruitment agency receive on a daily basis? Thousands. What are you doing to stand out with your CV? We are so privileged to be in an era where we have got technology, where we have got free tools, apps on our phones, where we can compile resumes that are eye-catching, that are striking, that you can add a photo, you can add color, you can change the font. Those are the kind of CVs that are going to make you stand out, not the normal black and white ones. And guess what? Even if you don't have access to any of these platforms, who knows about Microsoft Word? Yes, Microsoft Word offers templates that are nice, infographic, well put together, colorful. You can really find a template that showcases your personality and who you are. And I know that there is a lot of the youth sitting here today that hasn't got any experience to add to their CV. That's what I hear all the time. You know, what do I put on my CV? I don't have experience. From my side today, if there is one thing that I want you to take away, is that whatever you lack in experience, you can teach yourself in skill. Nobody can ever take a skill away from you from what you have learned. No one. And because we are in a generation where the knowledge is at our fingertips, you can learn anything. Once you've decided which companies you want to work for, and you decide you want to be a graphic designer at Coca-Cola one day, but you don't have the experience, you can teach yourself the skill of graphic design using YouTube. During COVID time, the recruitment sector was dead. Nobody was hiring. I had to teach myself a new skill. I taught myself how to design websites on YouTube and got my first client ever designing a website that paid me 200,000 Rand to do their website. From YouTube, people, YouTube. There is so much knowledge available. If you don't have the opportunity to find work, use these skills now and start side hustling. Start side hustling. I mean, the digital era is going to be here for a very long time. And there are only a handful of people that have the creative flair. Some have the business, some have the finance, some have the creative flair. Use these free online tools and teach yourself how to make content for your neighbor, for your business up the road, for the hair salon. Sell your content, because not only are you funding yourself with making a small income, you are learning a skill that your dream job is going to want you to have. Okay, but going back to your resumes, guys, Make your own resume. Don't pay somebody to do it. You can do it on your phone. Quickly, here's a few apps that you can use. Who's heard of Canva.com? CANVA.com. It's completely free. There are over 200 templates that you can make use of. And Word, Microsoft Word. If you go to the File button and you say New, there's a little search bar. There you type in resume. Hundreds of different templates for you to use for free. Who's going to make their own resume? Who's going to have a look at their resume to make sure that it is better? Yes, there we go. It's not enough hands, but I really do hope that you make the effort and invest in your resume.
Else.
Yeah, I can't emphasize the importance of a CV, but if you can allow me, Milton, just to deviate a bit. There's another type of CV. It's called a working CV. So what it means, I had already indicated that you need to find a way of differentiating yourself from the rest. So one way of doing it is volunteering. Because if you volunteer, someone out there is going to notice you. When I look at my career, I did not get the jobs because I'm clever. I got the jobs because someone sponsored me. But people won't sponsor you if they don't know what you are about. So you do have churches, you do have community centers, you do have clinics, you do have the police station. Nothing stops you from just deciding that in a 40-hour week, I'm going to just use 5 hours to volunteer, and someone out there is going to see you. I got to a point where I don't write my CV anymore. About 10 years ago, when I left ESCOM and I went to work for the taxman, I said to the person, I don't have a CV. And the person said, who needs your CV? Then I thought, oops, I've arrived. So I want to encourage you to then say, don't count on what you can only write, but also count on what you can do, what you can offer, such that you have a working CV. Let me give you an example. ESCOM hires about 40,000 people, and my colleagues are going to be very angry with me. I'm going to make them stand up. Valisha and Maite, if you could please stand up. So these are our engineers at ESCOM. There is a reason why, out of the 40,000 people, I picked up the phone, I said, I'm allowed 2 guests, and you are my guests. So what made me choose the 2? It's because they are out there. I mean, Maite, if you can talk to her afterwards, she does a lot of community work. She engages a lot of youngsters. She gives out her time. She's got small kids, but she's got time. She's out there, even though she's got a paying job. So next time, what does it mean for her? When I'm sitting at a when they want someone, in addition to her CV, she's likely to be sponsored. So you do, thank you so much, ladies. So you do the same in your church. Dr. Gule might be sitting there and noticing you. So that's also another important CV that I would encourage you to then say, go out there, volunteer. So if you've applied for work at ESCOM many times and you've been declined, maybe if you approach me to say, I want to volunteer, you might stand a better chance. So it's very important that you constantly find ways to distinguish and differentiate yourself. If you go to the ESCOM stall and you meet my colleagues who are there, every single one of them have got a story to tell. I'm a girl from Winterfeld, and when I look back, I know there's a lot of the people I grew up with who had managed to just break the mold and then say, how do I differentiate myself? And I know you can do it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to take it a step further. And one thing CV, Elsie has spoken about. Okay, so how do you get yourself out there? I would like to say the following to you. Once you have put together a CV, you have put it out there, can you please, I beg of you, not think the process stops there. When I say start with the end in mind, even when you are preparing this CV, as an unemployed person, you need to be asking yourself, so what will make sense in the piece of paper that I'm going to be filling in other than my name, my surname, and my ID number? What really am I needing to put into this piece of paper that it makes me stand out? Remember, if you are unemployed, the company is not looking for experience. We are hiring potential. So it means your first step is you need to ask yourself, not anybody else, yourself, a question: what's my potential? And if I'm saying this is my potential, it's what I can do, what backs up this, that which I am thinking, as a form of evidence that if I am called into the interview, I'll be able to share this to back up why am I saying I have a potential to do that which I'm saying I can do for you guys as the company.
Thank you so much. That is so important.
Yeah. And I wanted to just do the last part, Milton, if you can allow me. I'm not going to be long. Beyond the CV, once you are in the workplace, you are at ESCOM, you are wherever else, please remember that your success is not dependent on your supervisor or the person that has been put in charge of you being there. It simply means you need to be proactive. If you have done a task, you are done. It's not time to sit and play with your phone. It's time to just check if there's somewhere else where you can assist. In that way, you come out of that environment with many other things that you were not necessarily hired or you were not necessarily brought into this internship to come and do. But it's things that you are now in a position to, when this internship ends, it's things that you're in a position to talk about at your next opportunity that is put before you. And lastly, companies hire the following from a person who doesn't have experience. They hire punctuality, they hire dependability, they hire confidence. When you are sitting in front of me, I should not make out what you are trying to say to me. You should be articulate enough for me to be in a position to see that you've got a journey that you have put a path for yourself. All that you are needing is it's a ladder for you to start at number one ladder for you to be in a position to pursue your journey. Thanks, Milton.
Brilliant. Thank you. I'm being told that our time is up, so I want to squeeze in one more question, and I want to take 2 questions from the floor, and we are done, right?
Okay.
So please keep the answers brief. Babu Kule, I'm coming to you, but I'm coming with a new question as well, so you can wrap your answer, including the previous question. There are a lot of people who don't have access to online. We know that, right? So does tech exclude those people?
Thank you, sir. My answer to that question is, if you know, the answer is no, because you can, as pointed out earlier, that there are cafes, internet cafes that you can visit and access the tech. But I think I would take a guess, Chairperson, that in this room, possibly, let me be conservative, 50% of us have cell phones, some sort of cell phone. That's tech that you can use to access this thing. To the previous question, just one thing on the CV, please, yes, we can know you from your CV. Please make sure it's correct. You spell your own name correctly. I have seen so many CVs that have mistakes. It's not, that one people are going to toss off and say, so please make sure your own name, your own address, your own email address is correct. So revise the stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Tech tech is wonderful. So you can spell check things with Microsoft Word. So please just take the time to revise. Thank you, Chair.
Very true. This is brilliant advice. For instance, I know that, and I'm saying this while the mic is moving, please, who wants to ask a question, take the mic there. We get short question, no long speeches, please. And then so that we can get on with it. But I know from reading many CVs, I saw a lot of people from the townships in particular. When they talk about personal interest, they say, my dog is sporty. If your dog is sporty, no job. Okay? If your dog is called sporty or danger, please, let's hear your question.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm quite nervous right now, but I'm just grouping. With the technology, right, online, we're not all exposed to the technology that's used online. So how do the experts play on that? Like, for instance, let's say a sales consultant and a retail shop. You understand? There's someone else that doesn't know that terminology. You understand? Then end up clicking something else. You understand?
Okay,
and
thank you.
The opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next question. Short and sweet.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ayanda from Drizik 5. So on the point, so the first one is advice for the guys. I myself provide services to type CVs for people because not everyone has a computer. So I know what Madeleine was talking about, Canva and Word. So my advice for them is when you go to the cafes or to the people that are helping you, make sure that you are there with them and correct them and make sure that the information is correct and what's the part? The part where it's called a cover letter or something. Make sure that you write it yourself. So my one question then was, so for the tech part, was it for the tech? Okay, so I forgot. But my advice is that make sure that when they type it for you, you double check. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So listen, we are done, right? But these people have got so much firepower in them. Because of time, we've only used a small percentage of what they can give. So I'm going to ask them to give me 30-second sound bites to give their closing statements. So this time I'll start with Elsie.
Thank you so much, Milton. What I want to encourage you to do is make sure that you don't fall into a narrative that says there's no hope and there are no opportunities and so on. Make sure that you are selfish about your journey. Don't go with the narrative that I'm excluded because everybody's doing online. As a minimum, make sure you've got an email address, you've got the right profiles, whether you have a personal computer or not. When you get the first opportunity of a computer or a phone, make sure that you fix your profile first before you do the other LOL and other stuff we do on the phones. But be very selfish about presenting yourself. Dr. Gule was even saying, be very conscious of what you put out there. I do know that there are other companies, after they've seen your CV, they check your social media profile. So if you are somebody who had been using hate speech or whatever speech on your profile, you effectively exclude yourself from the platform. The message I want to leave with you, be selfish about your development. If you are on Twitter, follow companies that you are targeting. Don't follow just the celebrities. You can do the celebrities 2%, but 98% target environments that will grow you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, quick sound bites. Mine is going to be very pointed. Firstly, please don't look out there. Sometimes opportunity is just around you. Just make sure that, yes, you've got your cell phone, but most importantly, have your profile in an electronic format. And I've already spoken to you about social facilitation, which is there could be a building somewhere that is going up. Just go there and say, who is the social or a community liaison officer person? Get in touch with that person, get into their database, understand where their database stems from. Are you supposed to be sending an electronic CV, or do you need to then follow that? And most importantly, whatever you prepare, start with an end in mind. If you are an unemployed person, please don't burn your energy and send an application for an executive role. You are just setting yourself up for failure. It means you are just wasting time. Go and make sure that you have done your homework. When you sit in front of the panel, make sure that we can hear exactly what is it that you are bringing with you from a potential point of view. If you are given work, even if you have not done this before, share with us how would you go about doing this so that we can see you've got an ounce of initiative in you and you can be in a position to listen and work collaboratively in a team environment. Those things are very, very important.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Thank you. Did you want to add one more line? One. Yeah, did you want to add one more line?
Yeah,
I feel guilty that I chopped you off.
Yes. No, I just wanted to close it by saying, please don't look to the next person. The path that which you are going to create, technology or no technology, it just starts and ends with you. You will have to live that life. So if you are going to walk away here and you didn't take anything, it would have been a missed opportunity because of there are other people who needed to be in this room. They did not have an opportunity to be in this room. You are here, you are representing not only your jacket, but also your family, as well as the community where you are coming from. Thank you, Milton.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Ngawusawunda njengemfundisi, three things. Please don't lose hope, right? Don't lose hope. Secondly, pray. Pray. And thirdly, ask. Ask the people around you. Ask me if you need to. Thank you.
Madeleine.
Some really good advice here from the panel, and I know that we can sit here all day and talk, but if there was one thing that I wanted to echo to you all today is to use technology, research. There was a question about terminology about different jobs. Research the jobs. Put it in Google. What does a retail assistant do? Listen to, watch the videos on YouTube. We are also busy following the celebrities and the shoes and the fashion. Fill up your social media pages with people who are there to give advice, motivational advice, job advice. You can follow me on Instagram. We are always posting advice for you of how you can better yourself. And don't forget to watch The Chair every Wednesday, guys, 16:30. It's an amazing show. It'll give you so much insight into how to conduct interviews. And it's almost time for season 2, and we are recruiting. So, guys, please follow The Chair as well.
Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to thank our esteemed panel for the knowledge they've shared. Please give them a round of applause. Dr. Jerry Gule. Samson Villagas. Elsie Pule. And Madeleine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From my side, remember one thing. Focus on the chicken, not the egg. Oh, sorry.
Bakupa group photo. Apart batho ba orange farm la alla and ke lona ba di sa ntho tsa dulang fatshe and today dijo o tlo di thola ha o tswa eseng ko ntle, so which means ba tlo di ntsha ka row by row. If o tswile o sa ja o skare bontate Masiza hiso bar khawata na ka gaula yo swag no more swag no more. Today is different. So one mistake. Dijo, Dijo say, Dijo, askis, mo security, kuba oba jigise mo, kikuba oba jigise, or else bata jamanala. Bantu selection, you must think outside the box. These are the opportunities that you need. You know what you are thinking about. Done as shy round. That's why research develop. 1 week fella, ya sacrifice. How 1 week? Every day, same thing. Every day, imagine people are begging you to give you opportunities. Because Minister Uteng, because Hota CEO, we are begging you for your future. That's not fair. Singing for your own future. Then tomorrow, when such programs don't come at home, Marasamari, whining a kulumina for what? Because little Saza, hardly Sabatimo, then Bati, yeah, Orange Farm has always been like this. Siazvel. Do la fast 1 week of your life, one. Then also will emkumeniaku. Please. How? To understand. Please. Today, let us not do what we did yesterday. Maubani Tulian saying it was not right, and I have to address it. Ntatema Siza Maubani on another panel. Laema Lasama. So, message always send ingi go the sponsor. Settling the sponsor, Tarijo, Tameti, everything. Which okay, Mr. Masiza. You brought us here as I'm a businessman and I'm a CEO and I'm a minister. But it seems like your audience are in order. Then banka this thing, dear guy, the usual spot, dear Soweto. Then but for Soweto, they always say, you orange vamufele, ksema plazin. Kantikelona. So please, today, Reto Emela, then last speaker, Ra behavior, Radula, Haba faith for the next 45 minutes. Then, le amo laja. Kore ufunu putela impimpilo yako. Ka plate fell, plate. Ayo, ngamani ngabe successful. So please, Kikofa Ausi do me know, before Kimofa, there was a terminology. It rapide batho ba bangata mone ke ibone big city. lekgowa lela le reng, you must produce your resume. But ha uthini lo? Umlungu uthi sizame. Resume bana beso ke CV. Ba sa tsebeng ke bone ko morao ba re resume. Uthi size ngo May. Resume. Lekgowa le bua seZulu. Ngani o mongare mngani uzomlungu uthini? Athi resume. Resume ki CV. RESUME. It's a resume ki CV. So we are here. So the important. Now you know something. Lena nekisa itsebe. Mara because kitsa maga iPhone 13 Pro Max. Resume. Google. See, our resume is a CV. Simple as that. So today, but choice Bagorenji farm, because we must prove a point that this is not a jungle. And that this week we will prove it. Or about decent, and we deserve all these opportunities. So without any further ado, I do. So Kikofa, my sister, also do me. Yena kiena, I go ashine in the next speaker. So yena otlo khona umitsa hantle because o tseba se go fetana. Because nanga bitsa CEO ka accent yak. Otlo jiga mol. Otlo here she comes. This one owning the companies. It's her. So I'll see you. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Samari. Let's give him a round of applause, guys. Okay, so I'm about to introduce one of our important people who was with us when we first started. If some of you guys know EmpowaYouth, you'll know that this is our 7th year. And we started as a one-day job summit in that hall right across there, hosting a number of you only for one day. And this is where we are now today, including our new partners that have also come in. So these two women sitting right here are very important to us as EmpowaWorks, and one of them is going to come and address us now, specifically the one that started with us 5 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you Dr. Feleng Yende, and she is the CEO of Fiber Processing and Manufacturing SITA.
Sanbonani, Niapila. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Feleng Yende. I'm so excited to see all of you here today. You know, EmpowaWorks, it's an entity that's really been close to my heart. We come far with the founder of the organization. I meant that when we actually met, I saw someone that was quite passionate in youth development. I'm really excited to see that he has, okay, is it okay now? Technology, yeah? All right. I'm actually quite excited to see that the entity has grown to be such a massive entity that's actually making a difference in the lives of our children. I was asked to talk about positively impacting the socioeconomic future of the youth. So we get to be written speeches to address sessions, conferences, and gatherings where we actually go and attend. But sometimes we go through the speeches and you realize that, you know, they're not that practical. So I'll try to still keep to the format so that I'm not in trouble with the head of my corporate affairs, who is my boss in terms of the speech writing. But I'll also try and use this opportunity to really get to the crux of practical things that we do in the entity where I am employed. Congratulations once more to EmpowaX, Mr. Masiza. Congratulations to you and your team for ever innovating, adapting, evolving, and making sure that your product is actually relevant. Greetings to all the dignitaries that are here today. My colleague, CEO of TITA, Madam Mapefo Anofrompong, who's also a very close friend. I've seen Dr. Gule as well, who's also one of our partners, and he's also doing quite a lot in terms of making sure that we transform the minds of our young people, our professionals, and business. But let me also just say that all protocol observed. I've been asked to actually quote Kofi Annan, who actually said in Lisbon in 1998, "No one is born a good citizen. No nation is born a democracy. Rather, both are processes that continue to evolve over a lifetime." So we are born, and then we have got different developmental stages that we go through. Young people must be included from birth, and a society that cuts itself off from its youth serves its lifetime. So in everything that we actually do as a society, it is important that we recognize all of you here. It's important that we move with you here. You know, these events are so important to some of us because we know that as we were growing up, our eyes were opened by events like this one, where we would then have an attendance of a career awareness event, which was something very rare, to be honest. So we were actually quite fortunate during our time when we were your age, or to actually be invited to something like this. It would be just smaller sessions where you'll have a few banks. It was an in thing when I was growing up to be a bank teller. It was a big issue. So it would actually be a few banks that would come together and would actually go and get to understand how do you then become a banker. But today we have this opportunity where we have so many of you here that are actually attending today's session. Why? Because it's important to make sure that there's that inclusion of our young people in the work that we actually do. My primary qualification is, and I'm going to talk about it because I see a lot of you here, is social work. So people and people development, it's my passion, something that I've been trained in. But as I was actually meeting people like Mr. Masiza, coming to my office saying, I want to study, and I want to be a CEO of my own entity. By the way, Mr. Masiza was a CEO at a very early stage. You know, as soon as he got his thing, he said, I want to be the CEO. And which is quite interesting and quite exciting. So some of us, when we met him many years ago when I was still practicing as a social worker. I was in the private sector. All he needed at the time was a bursary to go and study. But the bursary he needed, he knew that he had a vision. In fact, Mr. Masiza started what we are talking about today as a big issue to say, as sitters, we are training you to go and be entrepreneurs. He already had that vision. I don't know how many years ago, Dr. Masiza. 25 years ago. He already had that vision to say, when this woman gives me this bursary, which I did give him, by the way, and I want to put it on record. When I get this bursary, I'm going to study and I'm going to be the best that I can be, and I'm going to be the CEO of my own entity. And I'm going to start from somewhere. In fact, when he started, it was quite interesting. He started, and you know, with us, we were young, and we wanted to make sure that we, not job hob, okay? I was not job hobbing, but I wanted to taste all these private entities. So I moved from PwC to a mining sector. And when I joined the mining sector, the second mining company, because I moved from social work, then I went into issues of BEE and transformation. But at the time, I had done my master's in public management and development. And that then gave me the opportunity to actually, is it leapfrog? I don't know is that the program director that was helping us with English. But it helped me to actually get into the next level and get into the private sector and do transformation and read, interpret BEE policy and legislation for big entities. So I actually left from one mining company to the next one, where I became the executive director for Southern Africa. Okay, from social work, sitting and having counseling one-on-one, which is my passion. But my vision was, I do want to get into that corporate entity where I can be able to also get into a boardroom, because a boardroom sounded so fancy. And I really wanted to be there. And I actually made sure that I put plans in place, and I followed the plan to acquire the means to can then be able to get there. So when I joined this entity, and which is the point I wanted to put forward, my boss, who had employed the late Dr. Mkhonazi, says to me, I wanted to get hold of some young guy. He's an amazing guy. I met him in one of the meetings. And I was like, okay, fine, I want to listen to what Doc has to say. And he actually dropped Mr. Masiza's name. And I was like, okay, but I'm not going to claim that I know him. So I'll just say, okay, I shall look for him, you know. But for me, that made me so proud that he was really pushing, and he was actually beginning to build this brand and making his name known, driving it with the high level of integrity and a very palatable personality, completely palatable, free, no locks and things like that. And that in business is so important, you know, to always say, but why am I here? And to focus on the bigger picture. Bigger picture was for him to build what we see today. And in fact, perhaps in his, when he goes and does his strat planning session, he says, I've not yet arrived. You know, I know where I'm going. This is still part of the journey of where I'm actually going. But at the time, my boss was one of those sophisticated, I don't know, he had done some science and I was told he's one of the, amongst top 5 of the guys that has PhD in that particular science area. But he was a very humble man. So he actually dropped his name, and at the time I knew that he was really moving. And, you know, joining CETA, FPNM CETA, I thought, all right, we will hook up again. And indeed, we made sure that we hook up. And everything else is history. This is where he is. And I'm very happy that he has expanded. That's what business is all about. You help people to expand. Yeah, you help people to expand. All you do is just to drop down a seed, nurture it here and there, but allow them to expand. So I'm quite excited that we are here today, and this is what we can actually see. And really, to the sponsors, main sponsors, key sponsors, I've seen some of them here. Our colleagues are here. They've sponsored this event. We would want to really see actually our 21 cities driving this event. I think it's so important. Why? Because it's helping us to reach out to our very own people in those corners that are almost concealed, that we cannot really see. FPNM SETA, it's among the 21 seaters. What we do, we're manufacturing different products. So just from a value chain, we start with forestry. Okay. So forestry, it's a sector that is responsible for planting trees. I don't know, when you drive if you drive in Mpumalanga, you'll see there's a whole lot of trees, KZN, Eastern Cape, and many other areas. Those areas are actually meant to grow the trees that are then later on harvested. From those trees, we manufacture a number of things. From wood, rhino boards, and many other things. We actually also, from wood, we are able to manufacture paper and textiles. And from that particular phase, we are then able to then move to garment construction. Clothes that you are wearing are then taken care of by my sector. And that is why, and I did not see David, I know that Simpiwe is quite close to him as well. We've come to be very close because he's also quite passionate in community development and in actually sharing the work that he does. We then train young people in understanding the different parts of a machine. Something that we take for granted and think, I just want to go to Mama and Rukele overall. Quick stretch. There is a process involved, a training process involved. It really depends when you get that type of training, what is it that you want to do with it? You can decide to just have that qualification in garment construction and do nothing about it. Or you can decide that I want to come up with my own label. We don't only do garment construction, we also teach young people to manufacture shoes. And I'm quite excited, and I was talking to somebody outside that today we're seeing a lot of the local labels mushrooming, especially Mateki. We've got so many local brands that are manufactured locally. We've got to support those because those are our own brands. And those are products that are technically supported in terms of skills in the country. We do have opportunities where we take people overseas to go and compete with overseas people, international people, for them to can then be able to up the game of the finishing of their products. Okay. So clothing, we do that, we assist people in that. Shoes, we assist people in that. Making leather from your crocodiles, we assist. We've got a process that we teach young people to follow and to understand in manufacturing leather from a crocodile skin. We work with printing. If you make noise, it's your problem. We work with printing industry. Printing industry is one of the biggest contributors in GDP. Go and Google GDP so that you can understand why it's important for you to understand it. And what difference that will make in you understanding business and business management. So, printing, when you look at the profile of printing, we still find that a lot of companies in the printing sector are still very white. And it's an opportunity for young people to look at that and explore. And not think that printing, we're talking about, your normal printing machine where you just print. There's massive work that happens there. If you can quickly think about the examination pads, right? Think about the textbooks. Can you see how big the business can be? Every year, young people write exams. Every year, not every other, every year. In fact, every quarter or every semester, there's some kind of an exam or test that is actually written. So what that industry is doing, it has to evolve because of digitization and 4RR and all of that. But we're still maintaining the analog part, and that is why we still are printing these. Because migration does not mean stop and start. It says you must transition. You need to have a plan to transition into technology. And in fact, I don't think that we will be in a stage where we can completely do away with paper. So that industry, there's a lot of opportunities there. We manufacture wood from the trees that I mentioned. And from the wood, we are able to train young people to manufacture cupboards, cabinets. I mean, during COVID, we had a project where we were supporting coffin making because of the number of people that were actually passing on as a result of COVID. So we do look at that. We had young people that came forward and put forward proposals to manufacture masks. So if you've gone through a learnership in garment construction and there's this type of, it's an opportunity, of course, it's also a disaster. But in every disaster, we need to still have solutions to can manage the disaster. All right, so we had young people that we supported to make sure that they then come in and they're able to manufacture their masks. The journalists, journalism as well, it's transitioning into digitization, digital work and all of that, but we still have printed newspapers. So it is also an area that we are supporting, and I think we're doing quite well in as far as that is concerned. So I really just wanted to share all of that quite practically to say that FPNM SETA is a SETA that is the creative area, and things like your garment construction, shoe making, leather making, paper making, production, writing. If you're interested in writing a book, we teach, we've got an occupational qualification that teaches you on how to write and how to publish a book, whether you want to publish it digitally or whether you want to have a hard copy. Or you just decide, no, I don't want to publish, but I want to be an editor. So I will write, and then you will come and say, I want to edit for you, and this is how much I'm going to charge you to edit. So digitization is important. We are digitizing our qualifications to make sure young people remain relevant, okay? You are able to use technology to come up with different designs, to drop designs, and can be able to compete internationally. So all those qualifications, if you visit Fiber Processing and Manufacturing SETA, I think it's www.fpnmseta.org.za, you will be able to see a lot more of the work that we are doing. I'm not going to try and bore you with a lot of what's been written here. I wanted to give you a practical delivery of the work that we are doing. So if you're interested in us and interested in knowing us more, visit our website. We work with young people. We form cooperatives. So some of them, after we've trained you into editing or writing or publishing or journalism, I mean, we've got community journalists, okay, who actually write community newspapers. Maybe you want to be in the shoe manufacturing space. We do put together cooperatives as well. Young people, we bring them together, we register them, we give them a startup in terms of initial work, and then from there we want them to expand like what Mr. Masiza has actually done. Because it's important, there's a lot of young people that need to expand. So we give you a few years of support, from there we expect you to move forward. So yeah, SMMEs as well. So we do the same thing with SMMEs. If you are solo, you want to start your own program, you've been trained in manufacturing shoes or clothes or whatever the case, or furniture, you've got a registered company. Even if you don't have, we have got service providers that will help you register that entity, and we give you we then give you the startup, and we monitor you, and we make sure that you can then be able to employ others, and no, thanks. So, thanks, guys. So,
Guys, quiet, please. Let's wrap
visit
up.
the website. Visit the website and the economy, colleagues, and let us be very honest, right? I'm not discouraging looking for a job or whatever, but the economy is in small business development. It's in you starting something for yourself and running your own business. That is where the economy is, not only in South Africa, but it's a global phenomenon, all right? So let us not wait. Let us not wait for someone to find you or for you to say, I hereby apply for a job. That thing, we did it many years ago. We did it many years ago. Today, get a skill and say, who can I find to support me? I want to start up and I want to work and I want to supply through words. We have got young guys, cooperatives that we have assisted. I won't finish. We have young people that we've supported. What they do is we put them through to groups like your Foshini group and all of that. And what they then do is they become suppliers. When you go to your Edgar's, you'd find that there's a corner that's been given to that space for them to showcase their work and to sell their work through reputable entities like your Edgar's, your Truworths, and all of that. I mean, it's a big deal, guys. It's a big deal. So let us make sure we do these things for ourselves. Thank you very much.
Any questions from anyone, or we? Website. Doc, they're asking for the website.
Okay. Website, it's www.fpmceta. F is father, Peter, mother, sugar, engine, Tommy, Anna.org.za.
Thank you so much, Dr. Filling. All right. Okay, listen up, guys. Listen up. Quiet, otherwise we'll take longer for lunchtime.
Mamelang. Hey. Le batla dijo?
So, tulang he.
Liboko soka pa tšhelete. Liboko soka pa tšhelete.
Tšhelete.
Ai, liboko so le na le nama.
Awesome. Guys, let's also give Mem Mapi for a round of applause. She's the CEO of Tita, main sponsor for today. She made it happen. Okay, so what's going to happen now? It's officially lunchtime, finally. So how are we going to do it, just to make sure that we don't have a stampede and chaos like yesterday? There is Palisa over there, waving. I'm over here. We're going to usher you out row by row. Okay? So each row will come out. We'll do 2 rows at a time. When you go out the door, that's when you get a box. Okay? Anyone that is standing or coming from outside will unfortunately not be able to get. You need to come within and then go out in order for you to be able to get lunch. So you need to remain seated, and then we'll usher you out row by row.
Okay, Kasi Sotho.